that hit major cities of the country earlier today on the news at 10. In the South and Southeastern states, members of the organized labor protest in solidarity with the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The union members marched in their thousands to the government houses in the capital cities of Port Harcourt, Owerri, Benin, Asaba, and Enugu State. And while that was going on in the South region, another protest took center stage in the north-central states of Niger, Kwara, Zamfara, and Kaduna, where members of the organized labor also occupied major government offices across that region. They say their aim is to support the protracted strike embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, which has lasted for more than 5 months now. In the report, Stevenson Okoro in the South, Chineme Bamaye in the North Central report that the union hoped to get the federal government to take necessary action to end the lingering Asuu strike.
The intensity of the sun notwithstanding, the Rivers State chapter of the Nigerian Labour Congress joins their counterparts nationwide for this protest. They are out on the streets of Port Harcourt to add their voices to that of Asuu with the hope of getting the federal government to take necessary action for the strike to end.
We are dismayed by the federal government's paralysis and reluctance to take the necessary steps that could lead to the peaceful resolution of the issues in dispute and by extension end the strike.
The state government does not regulate the economy. I've looked at APIS, another thing that is being highlighted here. It is not also a state problem. So this is simply a message which I've gone to the right channel to send. And I want to promise you that I will hand this letter over to the governor.
In Owerri, organized labor also lamented the closure of universities for 5 months due to the dispute between Asuu and the federal government. Labor says due to the strike, Nigerian students are more vulnerable to antisocial vices, with thousands of workers plunged into hardship.
We want to plead with the federal government and state government to help us make sure that this problem is solved in no distant time.
I want to urge you to be patient. The federal government is working around the clock now to see that this matter is resolved.
The NLC in Edo State also led its affiliate unions on the solidarity protest. They are mounting pressure on government to end the strike and revitalize the education system.
Any nation that is serious about growth or the future of the nation must take into cognizance the need for the youths to be, seriously schooled.
Till today, 5 months after, our children are still at home, our brothers are at home, and our sisters are still at home. It's a shame, it's very shameful.
The protesters in Delta State appealed to Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to intervene in the stalemate between the striking lecturers and the federal government.
The insensitivity of this government, is degenerating every day, and if Labour does not, intervene into this issue, I want to tell you that we may end up, not having anything that has to do with tertiary institution in Nigeria.
We're all human beings, and as Nigerians, we are very good and good listeners. That this message will go up to Abuja. I know the government will do all they can to listen to us for this time.
In Enugu State, organized labor challenged the federal government to honor agreements reached with Asuu.
An agreement that is 13 years old running is still being contested by the same government. And if you go to our universities, it is an apology.
Our job, just as we have pointed out, is to continue to engage the federal government.
These nationwide protests today is to demand commitment from the federal government to resolve all lingering industrial disputes between it and all the university-based unions. Organized labor occupied various government buildings and marched through major roads in the state capitals across the north-central and northwestern states, agitating the 5-month-old strike action by Asuu and the failure of the federal government to meet the signed agreement. Speaking to journalists at the NLC Secretariat in Mina, the vice chairman of the Niger State chapter, Bako Abdurrahman, says the negligence of the federal government is destroying the destiny of Nigeria's future leaders, as no nation can rise with a neglected educational system.
The last we heard from the nation, our president, was that enough is enough. But we are throwing back that enough is enough to him. Because Asuu, we have to be fair with Asuu and other affiliate unions of the universities. What they have done a lot for the educational sector. And what they are demanding, it is not for selfish interest. They are demanding better conditions. They are demanding better facilities in the university.
In Kwara State, the Nigerian Labour Congress and its affiliate unions also staged a peaceful protest in solidarity with the striking academic and non-academic staff unions of Nigerian universities. The protesters called on the federal government to attend to the needs of the university workers and allow the university system to run seamlessly.
We are going for 3 working strike action, 3 working day action, industrial action. After that, if nothing was done, then we move. We are going to do another NEC meeting to know the next line of action.
In Zamfara State, the protest was conducted amidst tight security, with the Deputy Governor Hassan Nasir addressing members of the Congress. He expressed dismay over the recent increase in criminal activities across the country, noting that the strike contributed immensely. Members of the NLC in Kaduna State and affiliate unions, on their part, have promised to shut down the nation's economy in the coming days if the 2-day warning strike does not yield positive results.
Feeling that our children have been abandoned for the last 6 months, which they are trying to make the government to know that Nigerians are worried. So for them to make this rally, I'm not saying anything bad about it.
If this action did not yield the result, we are going to do a national strike to shoot down the economy.
For these people, this is a work of unity, calling on the federal government to attend to the needs of the academic staff union so that students can return to school and continue their education. Chenemi Bamei, TVC News, Mina.
And President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, says the union will embark on a 3-day national strike if the federal government fails to act after the protests. Mr. Waba, who spoke when he featured on TVC This Morning earlier today, says the striking university workers are part of the NLC and that the union is directly involved. He also noted that several letters have been written before the decision to embark on the protests.
This will also proceed on 3 days national warning strike if nothing happens. And basically before then, the strike then can also continue. 4 unions involved. All of them are also members of NLC, and their membership of NLC. So we are directly involved. It's not solidarity. We are directly involved as an organization, and that's why we thought that we should be able to lend our voice, but also to prompt for an action so that this issue can be resolved once and for all. At the level of strike, we wrote several letters, and importantly also, we're able to try to intervene, but all these interventions have not been able to yield the desired results, and basically time is still being lost.